All right, let's pop out chat here. Like so. Perfect. All right, so good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our playthrough of Diablo 2. I've done quite a few things here since we last played. Let's jump right in. I have a test that I want to do. So 1 second here. Let's log in. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my characters here, right? We're going to go test game. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this game. I'm in Nightmare right now with my Necromancer, and I have to go through the maggot layer to find the staff for Act 2, and well, I don't really want to do it in Nightmare. So what I'm going to do is that this is a regular character in normal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this game. I'm going to give it a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back in with my Necromancer to see if I can actually pick up the staff, because it was this character that actually created the game. So that should mean that all the other quests, you know, throughout all the acts and everything should be good to go, you know, because I created it with this character. So that's what we're going to do. So I think in the meantime, what I'm going to do is let's go to the Black Marsh. Oh, right there. Look at that. I got lucky. Sometimes you get lucky when you spawn in. So I'm just going to quickly go through the Forgotten Tower here, and then slide it over to my Necromancer. I'm going to go ahead and look for the staff in the maggot layer. What I'm hoping to do is just get the staff and bring it into Nightmare, so I don't have to do it there. It's such a pain in the ass. Watch, I'm gonna get overloaded with gems and stuff. Nice, I can actually get a whole bunch of potions. So as of right now, I've got like, I don't know, just a bunch of crap. I mean, these are my mule characters. And while, you know, it's never advisable to sit there and play with your mule characters while they're full of all of your stuff, you know, I'm like at that point now where all of my mules are like maxed out on items. So I gotta start leveling them up so they can start equipping everything. So you can get a couple more healing potions. So I just gotta let you guys know that I'm gonna be going out of town here for a couple days, you know, because for the rest of the holidays. And there's going to be kind of a lack of content, I think, for at least a good handful of days until like the 1st or 2nd after New Year's. I was planning on making like a channel update type thing, but I'm like, you know, do I really have to make a whole video on telling people I'm going to be out of town? And there's going to be a lapse. Like, nah. I'll just sit there and talk about it in my stream. Also, I'm not really entirely sure, you know, it's like if I stream this game, say, for like 2 hours straight, if there's an option to actually break up a 2-hour long stream into like 2 different episodes through YouTube and not have to use an editing program, a video editing program. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm gonna have to test it out. Otherwise, this is just gonna have to be just one long stream itself, and then it'll just be what it is. Should have been playing some of my other series and recording episodes and things, but I hate the holidays. I hate it. It's always affecting me in a negative manner. So I've just been kind of down and out when it comes to the other series and whatnot. Okay, it's hard to hear. do have to say, this place is a really outstanding area to level up your characters. I mean, like your low-level characters, if you're doing what I'm doing. Just, trying to level up a little bit and then create like one of these games where you're going to be transferring. Great place to do it. Because you could reasonably, the way it works is that you're supposed to, before a game becomes permanent, I guess, in order for you to actually transfer gear and whatnot, you have to actually be in the game for so many minutes. I think it's like 5 consecutive minutes. And that way, you know, you can leave and come back to the same game that you were playing before. So this is a good way to kill a couple minutes just to pass the time. That's why I try not to actually just rush through it. Just try to get to the end as quick as possible. Try to take my time here. Let's get in there and do some damage. We're pretty much out of space. And another charm. Alright, well, let's, before I do anything, let's go back to town and...
Greetings.
I think I'm completely out of space here. Yeah. Alright, so what I'll have to do is drop all these chippies. So when I said that this game, or my Necromancer, is 100% completely self-found, that's slightly untrue. So like when I was making these mule characters and making them permanent and whatnot and leveling up a little bit, any of the gems that I found, I actually did slide over to them. I think, let's see here, you need a whole bunch of other stuff. I should really get rid of some of this shite. Some of these full rejuvenation potions, I totally don't need them. Easily make more. There. What I'll do... let's go pick up this stuff. And then be on my merry little way.
I am overburdened.
Oh, bullshit.
Good day.
Get here. Trash. All right, so let's continue on with the Necromancer. For a second there, I got scared. I was like, "Fuck! I did it again." Created another transfer game where I screwed up the game name and password. Sure, we'll pick up that other potion, why not? So I have done quite a bit of MFing in the time that I last left off. Like right now I got extremely lucky and found a Karen shard. I also got a Moser's. Yeah. And I put the 2 perfect diamonds in there, because of course I did. Let's see what else. I got some pretty good MF gloves here. Same thing with some boots. And a night smoke, that's right. Of course I got that. And then it's just some other shitty shits. It works though. I wouldn't mind actually changing out my armor at some point, but I haven't really managed to find anything that kind of suits my interest. Alright, so let's just actually upgrade all these gems. Oh nice, look at that. I can make a perfect topaz. Fantastic. Alright, take this last chippy here. And you know what I forgot to do is actually drop all those runes. Alright, so let's go to Maggot Lair. See if this works. I think it works. I think I've done this before. I don't remember. Is the Maggot Lair in the Dry Hills or is it in Far Oasis? I think it's Far Oasis. I think so. Because I think the Halls of the Dead are in the other place. I got quite a few people in stream right now. Wasn't really expecting to see that at this time of the day. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, everybody's got to go to school or work or whatever else. They have responsibilities they have to take care of, and wasn't expecting at all to have any kind of audience. Surprising. I'm pretty sure this will work. I'm pretty sure it'll work. I mean, it makes sense, wouldn't it? I mean, if you don't have a Haraja cube, you could always go back and get another one in the earlier difficulties. So I don't see why it wouldn't be able to work in circumstances such as these with the other pieces. Although, you know what it's going to tell me is I'm going to end up going there. I'm going to complete the goddamn maggot layer on normal. And it's going to tell me I can't pick it up. That's going to be my luck. So I don't really care about all these enemies. Let's just find the place. Yeah, I started getting really lucky when I was when I completed Bale. I found the I think I found the Night Smoke, and then when I started Act 1 in Nightmare, it was like that's what I just started to get bombarded with all kinds of awesome runes and some of this other gear. I was really surprised. Like, there's sometimes where games work like that, where it's just the moment you just start your game up and start killing monsters, you just start finding stuff. Alright, so we're gonna have a little look-see over here. And if we can't find it, we'll just go up them, the stairs. Yeah, I don't think it's down here. Unless I'm completely wrong. I'm fairly certain it's here, though. There we go. Hope this works. I hate doing the maggot layer. The maggot layer really sucks for this build. Any of the areas that actually have like these really narrow passageways, it's really terrible for our build. Because all of our monsters can't, or all of our minions can't get in there. I'm just gonna quickly scroll through this area. It's not like I gotta sit there and take my time. Although, unfortunately, all these monsters are gonna get in the way. Good news is that the Karen Shard's gonna do some damage. Get through this nonsense even quicker. Sitting there having a melee with a wand. It looks like this is just a dead end. Very well. You know, I was always tempted to actually stream it sometime in the morning like this. I don't know why I didn't before, because I just didn't really have much faith in it. I didn't really think that anybody would watch. I always thought that, or was under the assumption that if you streamed, you should do it at night. Or at least in the evening sometime, because that's when most people are going to be available. But why the hell not? Stranger things have happened. So the only thing I'm looking for is like these larger like subsections, like these antechambers. That's where the way down is going to be. If this works, man, I'm going to do the same thing for Hell. The Arcane Sanctuary is another place that just sucks for this build. Because all of your minions just like pile up in the corridors and you just end up can't get them to actually like path in such a way where most of them can do damage. And of course, my my henchman, my mercenary, he's always far behind. He's always somewhere further back on the pecking order when it comes to the pathing for whatever reason. There's always my skeletons that are in first. Oh, I hope this works. The good news is that if this actually works, then I'll just be able to go to the Claw Viper Temple in Nightmare and get the headpiece, the amulet, and then we'll be able to create the staff and go take on Duriel yet again. Now, I have been thinking about like the future of my channel and like what series I'd like to do next after some of the ones that I'm currently playing are all finished up, and I am definitely thinking about perhaps like Mount & Blade Warband. It's one of those games I have a really contentious relationship with, because when I first started to try to play, I just couldn't do it because it looks like ass. For one, and then it's got those dodgy controls. I could just never get over it. Especially the controls. The controls were the worst. And not only that, but then there's always that talk of Mount & Blade Bannerlord actually releasing at some point. So I figured, you know what, instead of learning how to play Warband, I'll just wait until Bannerlord comes out. What the fuck? I can't open this goddamn door. And, well, Tail Worlds have been announcing whatchamacallit, Bannerlord for such a long period of time. It almost feels like vaporware at this point. I know that they show all these like demo videos and everything. Try to get the hype train rolling. I'm just not convinced. It's just taking too long. That's also partially the reason why I never learned how to play Victoria 2. That I've mentioned a few times during my EU4 games. It's so old, and it's got those old cumbersome menus and whatnot. I just figured I'd just end up waiting for Paradox to release a Vicky 3. And you guys know as much as I do. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if they're actually developing it right now at the moment, or if it's, you know, something that might kind of sort of would happen like in the future. I don't know. But I was kind of holding out for that. But I'm already at that point now where I'm just like, you know what, instead of waiting for them to develop it and release it, I'll just learn the first game. Or, excuse me, the existing game. The other thing that would be, speaking of Paradox, the other thing that would actually kind of suck about waiting for Vicky 3 to release would be, you know, it's going to be in the typical like Paradoxian fashion where they release like a shell of a game that actually works, and you gotta wait for all like the million DLCs that come out to all the expansions and whatnot over the years. Oh, mother... It doesn't work. Alright then. Well, so much for that theory. So let's get the hell out of here. I was kind of afraid of that. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that maybe we'd just get bamboozled. Like the thing would actually drop. But we wouldn't be able to pick it up. It would just say impossible.
The Order welcomes you.
Alright, so before we actually get into the maggot layer again, let's go pick up our minions here. Also, to give you guys a heads up, I did switch out my mercenary, so he's a holy freeze guy now instead of, what is it, might or blessed aim. I was a little nonplussed as to which one I wanted. I just ended up opting for holy freeze because I just feel like that actually synergizes a little bit more with the build. Could be wrong. I actually thought about Thorns at first. Because Thorns is pretty sexy. Alright, just two more. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We'll just go back. Pick up our last two mages. Over there in Act 2. And several levels ago, when I was still in when I was still in normal, having to fight Diablo, I was having like this moment of despair because it was like my skeletons were absolutely garbage. They would just sit there and get wiped out as soon as Diablo throws his big fire ring. They just get crushed. I was sitting there thinking, man, I screwed up my build. What I should have done was put a lot more points into like skeletal mastery in the skeletons instead of dicking around with some of the other stuff. So I was afraid I was actually going to end up having to respec and then sorting everything out, but I didn't have to do that. Yeah, what a difference Mosers make with the two perfect diamonds. Don't really have to worry about resistances too much, except for cold. Cold's the only one. And speaking of the point of desperation that I had with the skeletons and whatnot, so what I've been trying to do here is just actually max it out, the skeletal mastery right now, because I have all the plus to skills and gear and whatnot on it. So of course you're getting not the complete story
Good
there.
evening.
Blessings.
Numbers are a little heightened. Oh, I hate the maggot layer. I hate it so much. was hoping we'd get lucky by now and actually have found the damn thing so I don't have to walk all over Kingdom Come here to find it. And I do have to say that somebody actually mentioned this before, that I should put 1 point into corpse explosion to speed things up. And I just don't feel like that's actually a good combo with a Zoomancer build like this. You know, because it's like if you're sitting there exploding all your corpses and stuff, then when your skeletons die, you don't really have anything to replace them with. However, when it comes to like narrow passageways and corridors and whatnot, corpse explosion is king. That's where it's really great at. That's where it really shines. It is tempting to actually put a skill point into it. I don't know. I'm still kind of skeptical. Or maybe I'm just like so used to like the older metas that are no longer applicable, where like corpse explosion builds were actually viable. I don't know, maybe they still are. It's been so long since I last played one, I couldn't tell you anything about it. But I know when it comes to this build, I just don't think it works, except for those specialized circumstances. Raptors sitting around here. And I'm getting fucking poisoned. Would be nice if my mercenary leveled up a little bit so I could actually have a greater radius of effect of his Holy Freeze, because I noticed it doesn't really kick in until he's pretty close up, which is quite unfortunate. Oh, we got Eisenhearts. Oh, it's actually so I completely maxed out Skeletal Mastery. Fabulous. So the good question is, I think I should do Summon Resist next. I also need to work on like buffing up my Bone Shield, because that is going to be needed when we get into Hell. Especially because the resistances start to really become an issue there. That's always the hardest part about trying to play like a magic finding character in the harder difficulties, is because you got to sit there and juggle between trying to get yourself gear that actually gives you resistances versus the actual magic find percentages. I mean, if you could find both, or if you could create a gear combination that has both, then it works out pretty well. Like for instance, if you're playing a sorceress, like if you have most of the Tal Rasha set items, like not only do they give you a whole bunch of resistances, but they actually give you quite a bit of magic fighting percentage. Oh, this is gonna suck. See, they all just like pool up here. They're not moving down, there's just that one guy. So it's like I gotta kite all the enemies back. See, if I only had the corpse explosion. Damn it, kill him. It's gonna take forever. I hate this place. I used to like doing Arcane Sanctuary, man, but this build sucks for it. It just takes so long. Okay, so for real, I'm just gonna look for the way down. I'm not gonna take my time actually exploring through here in the interest of brevity. See if I could just have all my skeletons come down here and start whooping some ass. That'd be nice, instead of them screwing around way up here off screen. Be paying attention to my lack of skeletons here. Of course, there's always that. Alright, so we got some dead ends over this way. Hey Blizzard, when you guys make the remaster of this, improve AI pathing, please. This is garbage. It's always been this way. It is such a big pain in the ass. So I probably got a bunch of garbage rares. You know, one of my problems is that I always try to keep all of my rare throwing weapons because I always want to make a throw barbarian because they're excellent, they're fun. But the problem is that my throw barbarian always ends up starting off as a mule, so I'll end up like collecting all of these awesome throwing weapons and just never end up getting around to using them because the character just remains a mule. Come on, get down there. What are you doing? sucks. I just want to get through here. Oh. This is one of the things that sucks about this area is that you got these rock worms, and they sit there and lay the eggs, and then they spawn in all these, like, all their little peons, their babies, and they get in the way, and then your skeletons have to sit there and struggle to actually kill through them. Oh, slowly but surely it's actually happening. Get kind of bamboozled here. Finding all the places that we don't want to go. Come on, where's the way down? I just want to go. You know, I guess one nice thing about actually doing this area and having the pathing issues is that once the monsters actually start to die, I mean, you could always respawn in new skeletons from their corpses, which will spawn them, you know, presumably like right where you need them to be, which would be right in the son of a bitch, right in the front end of combat. This whole area here was nothing but a big forked dead end. Did all that shit for nothing. You know, it'd be nice if there was some actual consolation here. Like maybe some unique drops. Be pretty good. So it looks like it's probably going to be over in this direction somewhere. The other thing is that I really wish my mercenary was actually able to move past all these guys, because he's the one that's going to be doing all the damage. Wow. Yeah, that's not going to happen. We're going to have to go around to the other direction. Unless, of course, I'm able to actually kite some of the enemies into one of the larger chambers, or where the pathways converge. Awesome. I was able to sneak by. For Christ's sakes. We've been to almost the entire area. Of the first level of the mega lair. Look at that. What is our fucking luck here? This is where we came in from, and we had to explore all this just to figure out it was just nothing, one big dead end, and of course the way down was right next to the entrance. Why you gotta play me like that, game? Why? Oh shit. Somehow, some way, my skeletons have taken a lot of damage here. Come on, Jesus Christ. Please work with me. That's one of the other problems with having the skeletal mages, is that you don't decide on which element they're going to be chucking. So these, the cold skill based ones don't really make an environment conducive to this build, simply because, you know, they end up freezing one of the enemies, and when the enemy dies, they have a chance of exploding into a bunch of, I guess, ice cubes, and you don't get the corpse. But I'd rather have something else do some damage than not, so they just get stuck around. I mean, consequently, what you could do, like in the harder difficulties, like in Hell especially, you know, like the ones that are throwing around the poison are absolute shit, because everything is resistant or immune to poison. So your only other option is just to sit there and keep respawning in the skeletal mages until you get the element that you want. Which I find the idea of it kind of stupid, because it like almost just completely renders that version of the skeleton like completely useless in the later difficulties, simply because of that. All the you know, same thing too with fire spells. Like if you were a sorceress and you wanted to play like a sorceress that actually focused on fire spells, like you just can't do it. In Hell especially, everything's immune. Maybe we'll get lucky here. I think that's probably what I need to start to actually employ here is...
I am overburdened.
Wait, what? It's like some very tactical minion dropping. Just get the rest of my guys in here. So I keep moving up. I know it's dangerous to do this, but then there's a good chance that all of my skeleton minions are actually going to move and get into proper position here. you guys were paying attention right there, that was a good example of what I meant by tactical placement of the minions. Is that my golem here was in the way. He was in the front line of this. And he wasn't able to... None of my other minions there, my melee ones, were able to actually attack because he was in the way. Like right now. So if I respawn him, say, over here, it opens the area up. You know what? That's how we're gonna do that. Oh shit. Quite a bit of damage there. You know, there is another way around here. I'm gonna take the other way. Sometimes it may just work out for you when there's a secondary way to get in. I'm really half tempted, more than half tempted here to actually put a point into corpse explosion for this, because this is ridiculous. Looks like the bad man died. The big scary one. There we go. Dropping them skellies right in there. See if I can get around here. Yeah, there we go. Wow. So many bad men. The bad man must die. See, the unfortunate part about it is I said I didn't really want to do this, you know, slowly slog my way through this area. But I gotta wait for these guys to actually clean this area up before I'm able to move on, because it's not like they're able to go where I direct them to. So even if I wanted to advance this way, I'd be unable to, because they'd be stuck over there fighting. Unless, of course, I got so far enough away that they actually had to respawn. Excellent. Finally, on level 3. Finally. So I got asked the other day, forgot to mention this earlier, I got asked the other day whether or not I'm actually going to continue a Diablo 2 stream. Say if I do get lucky and find a cruel Colossus blade of quickness, whether or not I'm actually going to play a campaign as the barbarian. That's actually going to be equipping the thing. I don't know, we'll have to see. Since we're no longer playing ladder, it's not like I'm under any kind of constraints from that. Meaning I don't have to worry about, like, you know, the next ladder reset or something like that. So I mean, there is a good possibility of that, but we'll see how I feel about it. Normally what ends up happening when I play is that I'll play Diablo 2 and I'll end up pushing my character all the way up until I get into hell, and then I'll end up like doing a whole bunch of magic finding, and then spending all that time creating like mules, and then spending all that time having to worry about them becoming permanent, that by the time my character actually gets up into hell and starts to find the good stuff, like, I'm just burnt out. Oh, look at that. I think that's it's not the chieftain. I don't remember what that one is. Let's take a look here.
Good day.
Good day.
See here, that's actually not too shabby. Garbage. Ooh. Too bad it wasn't summoning skills. Well then, I mean, the only skills that it's really going to do anything with is the, what is it, the, bone armor. Yeah. I'll just throw in my, my stash here. I'll decide later. Boy, that would have been godly right now. If only it was summoning. So which one are you? Forget. War Axe. That's the exceptional version, isn't it? So it's not going to be that room. Basically what we're looking for is like a room like this, but it's going to have a golden chest. If you guys are not familiar with this area. Come on, quit fucking around, you guys. Sorry. Got a couple of naughty cats that like to run around and get into shit while I'm in the middle of a stream. See, if I have my mercenary, if you could just walk up here, that holy freeze is gonna affect all these guys. I just want to make it so. Oops. See, a room like this is actually perfect. Because now I can actually get a couple more guys in here, do some damage, and then it's just kind of a snowball effect. More skeletons, more damage, more bodies. Let's actually take a look at what we got here. I remember what this was. Rake Scar. I think I actually already found one of these guys. That's something else that I'm really hoping to see in a remaster, is a rebalancing of some of these weapons, some of the unique weapons. Because I just feel like they're almost never used. Like, unless of course you're poor and you don't have any magic find percentages or whatever, and you're just broke as a joke. You have nothing to trade with, yeah, and you're playing a melee character like pretty much a barbarian. Like, you know, this might be good for you, but otherwise, in any other circumstances, it's just garbage. Like, I really wish Blizzard would mix up the meta a little bit. The other thing too is like, I don't feel like there was ever a chance for like alternative or unorthodox builds. So we have Rake Scar here, but you know, what if I wanted to play or put that on my assassin, right? Now you could put it on your assassin. I mean, it's entirely possible. There's nothing to say that you can't do it. But the problem with it is that the claws are tailor-made for the assassin. So they're always like strictly better. There's never a circumstance where you really want to equip the axe, like a Rake Scar. And that's the problem I have, is like there's just not an opportunity for different play styles. You know, when I was sitting there doing this stream originally, I thought maybe I'd play like something really unorthodox, like a really old school experimental build, like a ranger, which is to say a ranged paladin. A paladin that uses like crossbows and bows and stuff. But I just don't think it's possible anymore. Like, the game is just not... Wait, am I locked? Okay, never mind. Like, the game just doesn't really facilitate an environment where you can do stuff like that.
Thus, stay a while and listen.
Blessings to you.
Alright, let's move our gems around here so we can put all of this nastiness aside. Alright, so we're gonna go into the Claw Viper Temple. So I don't remember if it's actually here in the Lost City or if it's got its own special area. I mean, I know it's its own dungeon. But what I mean, I don't remember if there's an actual, like the Tamo Highlands, or Highway in Act 1. You know, it's just like an area that transitions between an area that actually has a waypoint versus the next. See, now this is where the build actually really shines here. You don't realize how good the build is until you get out of those areas that have all of the narrow hallways and whatnot, and then you get into the open like this, and He's just able to mow through all this stuff fairly quickly. I'm kind of thinking I need to drop a couple points into Skeletal Mage. They're fairly underwhelming. I mean, they do last because of Skeletal Mastery. But they're just not doing as much damage as I would really want them to be. Although, I mean, they're just going to continue to suck. Ooh. They're going to continue to suck because, you know, when we get into hell... Oh, there we go. I think it's here. Valley of the Snakes. We just need to actually find the shits. He's gonna gain a level. Thinking I probably will hold back on actually pumping up my skeletal mages. And we gained our level. They're just not as efficacious. But as you guys know, or might have seen, that in those areas with the narrow corridors and whatnot, I mean, they are kind of a godsend to some extent because, you know, when you get that one melee skeleton up in the fray and they're held back and just casting away, I mean, it is extra damage. Not entirely sure how long I'm going to be streaming for this morning. Matter of fact, yeah, I still got a little while to go. Definitely going to be finishing Act 2 here. So we put that behind me. I might just start doing a little bit of Act 3 when we're all finished with this. Although, I don't know, Duriel could be a big pain in the ass. See how fast Duriel can slaughter my my skeletal army. I suppose if we can kill Duriel in due time, then I'll probably just go through the initial stages of Act 3. You know, like find the waypoints, get the Gid bin, find the statuette, all that stuff. But we'll see how that goes. Because I am under a little bit of a time constraint. In a few hours from now, I actually have to go out of town for a few days. So if you were just joining in the stream, welcome. Good morning. Just to reiterate, I am going out of town. There is going to be a lapse in content. And as I said before, I'm not entirely certain if I'm going to be able to... I don't know if YouTube actually has the ability to basically split episodes. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a good 2-hour stream in right now, and if I really wanted to make that into 2 1-hour episodes, if I could actually split it up like that in YouTube, or if I have to actually use my video editing software to do it, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to test that out. And for those of you guys that are actually watching the Crusader Kings 2 Succession series that is still ongoing, I did just get the save file back from Mr. Brett a couple of days ago. And I think we are just about ready to export over to EU4. Although we're kind of planning on how we're going to work that out about who's going to actually start up that series. It'll be a Succession series, of course, but because technically I have the save file now, and then presumably the way it's going to work is that I'm going to play through my Monarch, and he's going to be the last CK2 Monarch, and then what I'm thinking is he'll probably kick off the EU4 playthrough to start off with, because I mean technically it'd be his turn to do it anyways, seeing that, you know, we're switching off every time Monarchs die. But we'll see how that goes. Still need to work out some of the fine details. Could use one of those. And then after that, I think it's might be a while before I come back to Crusader Kings 2. I need a break. I mean, I love Crusader Kings 2, don't get me wrong. It's just I've played so much. I mean, just since starting my channel, I've already had like what, 3 different Crusader Kings 2 campaigns. About time to just, you know, give it a little bit of a rest. I don't want to say I'm burnt out. I feel like I'm just doing too much of it. Although I really would like to actually get a campaign with the after the end mod, because that's my favorite, like total conversion mod of Crusader Kings 2 out of all the other ones. I mean, I haven't played through all of them like extensively, but of the ones that I have played, that's probably my favorite. I just think it's really well done.
The Viper Amulet. I've been speaking. Good to see you.
Good day.
Oh, god damn it. Let's create our staff here. You know what I forgot to do here, actually. Oh, shit. It's garbage. Don't want it. Oh. Let's make our perfect sapphire here. Alright guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to be back in just a moment. If you're just joining me, thank you very much. I will be right back.